Right now on KGW News at 11, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson started 2025 with a plan to tackle unsheltered homelessness.
I'm just looking for my brother. Yeah, he's been homeless out here for over a year now.
Tonight, we're looking at the progress made in the last year to address the issue and the realities that still exist. Plus,
we loved Beckham. We'd never met him, but we loved him.
A special connection between two moms that started with tragedy and ended with a life saved. Then later, how thieves tried to make off with a convenience store ATM, leaving behind a huge mess. But first, yeah, the celebration's top tier today. We begin here at 11 with a historic victory for the Oregon Ducks in their first ever Orange Bowl. And you can bet a bunch of green confetti and oranges flying in Miami. Thanks for joining us and Happy New Year to you. I'm Christine Pitawanich. Our Orlando Sanchez is in Miami, Florida tonight with a look at the Ducks' decisive win against Texas Tech.
What a difference a year makes. The Oregon Ducks using that Rose Bowl feeling as motivation. Fast forward 365 days later, and the Oregon Ducks kicked off 2026 with a bang, making a defensive statement in their first ever Orange Bowl. Welcome to Miami. It doesn't get much better than this. 64 and sunny to kick off 2026. More than 64,000 inside Hard Rock Stadium. The fifth-ranked Oregon Ducks facing number 4 Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. A trip to the Final Four on the line. The Oregon defense setting the tone. Tatum Tuioti, the man out of Sheldon High, wreaking havoc, forcing back-to-back 3-and-outs. The Red Raiders led the nation in forced takeaways, but it was the Ducks D winning the turnover battle. Bryce Betcher delivers the hit, and Brandon Finney Jr. makes the recovery. Despite a dominant first half, Oregon failed to finish drives, and it was only a 6-0 lead. Third quarter, Mateo Uyunglele with the play of the day. Incredible strip sack, putting the Ducks in business. The freshman, Jordan Davison, cashing out. His first of 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. But it was the Oregon defense that shined brightest. Brandon Finney Jr. had 2 interceptions, the defensive MVP. The Ducks forcing a season-high 4 turnovers. Oregon shuts out Texas Tech 23-0. It's Oregon's first postseason shutout since the 1917 Rose Bowl.
The resiliency that they showed, their ability to stay calm and poised and collected under pressure. It's not easy in big moments, but these guys have shown time and time again that they're ready for big moments.
To do it against a really good Texas Tech team in that fashion is, pretty surreal and feels really, really good. But I'm already kind of on to next week. Not gonna lie, I'm ready. I'm ready to go for another game. More motivation. It's a great feeling to win, but I want more.
Being in Miami was great weather. Of course, I'm just proud of the fans that traveled out here from Eugene. But yeah, of course, that's everybody's team's end goal, but you can never look too far ahead.
The celebration was great, but talking to the team in the locker room, they expected to win this game. And now they have more football to play, advancing to the semifinals of the college football playoff for the first time since 2015. They'll meet Indiana in the Peach Bowl in Atlanta on January 9th, the only team to beat the Ducks this season. And make sure to follow us on air and online because KGW is making the trip to Atlanta. Reporting from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Orlando Sanchez, KGW Sports.
The wild ride continues. And you know what? Closer to home, where it's a little colder, Ducks fans were out in full force at Grand Central Bowl in Southeast Portland this morning. They reflected on a mostly fantastic season and looked ahead to making it to another round of the college football playoffs.
I think it's been good. I think besides maybe the game to Indiana, which was maybe our worst loss, but everything else has been really good. I'm really proud of this team, and I'm excited for how far we've come.
Fans say they think the Ducks learned from their Rose Bowl loss last year and were more ready this time around. And you heard Orlando mention it, KGW will be following the Ducks all the way to Atlanta for the Peach Bowl next Friday. You can look for live reports next week on air and on our free TV streaming app that is KGW+. To the Gorge now for our weather impact coverage today. This is what some people are dealing with. Our very own Matt Zafino sent us this video from the Parkdale area near Hood River. We're talking sheets of ice coating cars and walkways. Let's get to our Corey Johnson in the Weather Center tonight. Corey, how long will those icy conditions stick around?
Well, Christine, we can expect those icy conditions to stay with us until at least tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. Take a look at the watches and warnings we have in place. A winter weather advisory that's in place until 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it includes the upper Hood River Valley as well as central Columbia River Gorge. And so we're expecting about a tenth of an inch or a tenth to about a quarter inch of ice in that area. So definitely keep that in mind. The roadways could get slicker, namely I-84 and Highway 14. But taking a look over the next few hours, notice those icy conditions do stick around in the gorge, but the rain that we've been seeing over the last several hours, by the time we get to Friday morning, it does dissipate. So we are going to see the rain leave us a little bit, and then as we get into the later part of our Friday, it mainly disappears. Also, those icy conditions start to subside as well for us. Taking a look outside, our Rose City camera sitting about 40 degrees currently. We do have more rain on the way though once we get to our Saturday. I have the timing of it all coming up.
Thanks for keeping us updated. Let's get you caught up now on tonight's other headlines. Portland police have identified the person accused of stabbing someone in a southeast Portland Safeway this morning. Portland police say at around 10 a.m., 51-year-old Christopher Woods stabbed and robbed a 77-year-old man inside the bathroom of the Safeway store on Southeast 122nd. Investigators say they found him over an hour and a half later near Southeast 119th and Division. Woods now faces felony assault and robbery charges. The victim was taken to the hospital. Tonight, we do not know their condition. State police in New Hampshire say a Beaverton man is dead after a truck hit him on this historic bridge between New Hampshire and Vermont. Troopers say in early December, 52-year-old Michael Iwanchuk was hit while walking on the Cornish-Windsor covered bridge, built in 1886 and one of the longest covered bridges in the country. He died in the hospital on Monday. The truck driver remained on scene. So far, no charges have been filed. To Washington County now, where deputies caught an 18-year-old and 3 juveniles after they allegedly broke into cars in the Bethany area. It happened late Tuesday night along Northwest Country Ridge Drive. Investigators say when deputies spotted the 4 of them inside a car, they jumped out and took off running. A canine was called in to help find them. The 18-year-old faces charges like reckless driving and attempting to elude. Now to a tragedy in Switzerland where around 40 people are dead, more than 100 others injured after a fire tore through a crowded bar inside a ski resort during a New Year's Eve party. It all started around 1:30 in the morning in a bar called La Constellation. Some witnesses believe the fire may have been caused by sparklers placed in champagne bottles. Investigators believe most of the victims are young people.
People shouted, "Fire, fire!" And at first, we thought it was a joke. Then suddenly, there was a very large cloud of black smoke. We could not breathe anymore. And in our heads, we knew we had to get out, but there was a crowd and we couldn't leave. So we tried to hide.
So scary. Authorities have declared a state of emergency and plan to investigate whether safety standards were met.
I don't think just giving and giving and giving. I think that there has to be another solution.
New tonight as we begin 2026, life for people living on Portland's streets goes on, with many hoping for changes in the new year. But there were a lot of changes in 2025 geared toward addressing Portland's homeless crisis. Catherine Cook is here now with 2 unique perspectives from the streets. Catherine, what are you hearing?
Well, Christine, many facing homelessness have New Year's resolutions too, as they face another year of challenges and choices. For those who love them, it's a painful cycle that just carries over as they do what they can to help.
It's a new year on the streets of Portland, and Big Unc Williams
2026
is here for it.
My New Year's resolution is to enjoy my life and respect the people that nobody want to respect.
For Williams and others living on the streets, last year brought a lot of changes, including more overnight shelter space. Portland Mayor Keith Wilson met his goal of creating at least 1,500 overnight shelter beds to address unsheltered homelessness. But as Williams reminded us, folks out here don't have to use them.
I don't hang out in the shelters because to me, I don't feel safe. But they are beautiful. My hat goes off to Portland. Portland is one of the realest cities.
Jeremiah Roadman also spent New Year's Day on the streets for a very different reason.
I'm just looking for my brother. Yeah, he's been homeless out here for over a year now.
Roadman says his brother Michael got hooked on fentanyl and is now a shell of the person he once was. Last year, he found him in this tent, sick and suffering from gangrene. He drove him to the hospital to get help.
And then they were able to kind of revive him. They had to cut his finger off, and they said another 24 hours, he probably would have been dead.
Roadman says out here, he doesn't think his brother's circumstances are exceptional. He says Michael has also been arrested and released multiple times without ever seeking treatment for his addiction.
I think coming down on drugs and criminalizing it more and being a little more harsher on that, I think that can help. You got food shelters and banks over here. So what's the real answer to helping them? I don't think just giving and giving and giving. I think that there has to be another solution.
A solution he hopes the city will search for while he searches for his brother.
As cold weather comes in our way, of course, more concerns for people on the streets. But new this winter, the city and county plan to keep Portland's emergency overnight shelters open 24/7 during cold weather events. Christine.
Good to know and appreciate the recap, Catherine. Thank you.